The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB, the sports guy. We got a big show for y'all today and a special guest who's taking time out his busy schedule to join us tonight. Before we get to our special guest, I have to introduce my two co-hosts that you can find on CrescentCitySports.com. First up, the one and only VK Jones. How you doing, VK?
What's going on, folks? Man, like, tag, share, and subscribe to the Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms and log on to the hashitoutshow.com. And I tell you, man, we are finally here, week 15, what we all been working hard for. We're in the Dome. State
Yes,
Championships, the LHSAA Prep Classic this weekend in the Caesars Superdome. So we got a good one tonight.
Also, other co-host George GP Peppers. What's going on, GP?
What's up, gentlemen? Doing wonderful in advance of what promises to be a very thrilling weekend of football in the Superdome. Better football than the regular tenants have played this year, right? I think we could agree. We're going to see better football than what the regular tenants in that building play.
Definitely.
Just,
Definitely.
I know it's a pot shot, but yeah, Saints, y'all stink at that. Y'all stinking it up in that dome. I just need y'all to stink it up December 17th. That's all.
Oh, anyway, George. All right. So, like I said, we have a special guest joining us. He is the head coach of the Calvary Baptist Cavalier football team. He has this team competing for a state championship this upcoming weekend against the St. Charles Catholic Comets. The one, the only coach, Rodney Guin. Coach, how you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Man, I'm doing great and happy to be able to help you all out.
Yes, sir, most definitely. Coach, back in 2020, you won a state title with Calvary Baptist, but it was in Natchitoches. This time, you're going to the Superdome to try to win another state title. How do you feel going to compete for the state title in the Superdome this time?
That's a neat experience. We talked, when we won that one in 2020, I said, it doesn't really matter where we play, if we can win a state championship. And that's true. But, when we won last Friday night, it was a different feel, knowing you're going to get to play in the Dome versus at, heck, back then we're even thinking about playing at our own schools with the select schools. And, so, man, we're excited. It's going to be a neat thing for our kids.
Coach, I do research and I see different things from the offseason with 7-on-7 all the way throughout the season. And I saw your team at a bunch of 7-on-7 camps. And I said it's something special about this Calvary Baptist team this upcoming season. And here you guys are competing for a state championship now. When did you realize that there was something special about this team this season?
Early in the year, I thought we played just a man schedule the first 5 weeks, with some of the teams we played. And I really thought when Westgate came up to our place and played, and we were able to win that game, and we really went toe-to-toe with them physically. I think after that, and then, Wassman had a great, great defense we played against the very next week. And, I think after that week 4 and 5, we said, hey, this team may be better than what we think they are, and we competed with some very, very good schools early on.
I want to go back to the game this past Friday against Newman. Newman is driving down the field trying to at least tie the game up, down by 8. Landon Sylvie, who I think is one of the best safeties in the state of Louisiana, gets the game-winning interception in the end zone. What was going through your mind when that happened?
Well, we're 8 points ahead. I'm thinking, okay, we're this thing may be headed to overtime here, but Landon's made big plays for us all year long, and he's committed to Southeast Missouri. I'm telling you, if the guy was another 30 pounds bigger and 2 inches taller, everybody in the country would want him. He is a fantastic football player, and he's made big plays for us all year long. He calls the defense back there. He's a pleasure to coach, and his brother was a big time player at Calvary when he was there, and Landon's just kind of fell right into that too.
After winning this game, and you guys have had a couple practices this week, what is the total mindset of your football team right now and get ready to compete for the state championship?
Yeah, they're ready to play. It's an older group. I mean, a lot of these kids have started 2 or 3 years for us, and they've been in some big games before. Like I said, we played good teams, and they're excited. They understand the challenge. I mean, these kids today aren't football stupid. They know who's good and who's not, and they know what we're up against. And we watched hours of film, so but they're excited for the challenge, and they're not going to back down. I can promise you that from whoever we play.
Coach, you guys are playing the 2-time defending state champion St. Charles Catholic Comets. What is it on film that you have noticed specifically about them?
Defensively, they're unbelievable good, and they're so well coached. They're never out of position. They bring pressure from a lot of different spots, and because some games, I mean, U-High, they were undersized against U-High. I mean, you look at those two teams matched up against each other, and you're thinking, well, and they held those guys to 1 touchdown, and that was late in the game. They got it. They didn't get anything for 3.5 quarters. But so good on defense. The linebackers, that one guy, I think he's number 22. He's probably the best player I've seen all year long. And I told the coaches, I said, that guy's fun to watch play, except we're going to have to play him. I said, if it wasn't for that, I'd sit there and watch him all day long, But, very good on defense, and that's why they're always good. Defense and special teams are always excellent. And again, we're excited about it, but we also understand what we're up against.
VK, I pass it on to you.
Coach, appreciate you taking the time out and everything. I know this is one of those weeks more than anything, but I know you're used to it more than anything else. I tell you, looking at the history of Calvary, it's been very, very successful since the inception of the school and everything else. What are your thoughts about, the experience over the years and the progress of this program since it was started by Ty Peterson?
Yeah, they set a standard of excellence pretty early. And, the kids that come and play for us, some of them have been there since kindergarten, some come later in their deal, but there's a very high expectation there. And even on the years when we probably don't have as much talent as we do some years, they expect to win every time we go out there. The fans expect you to win every time you go out there. And, I think that pushes them to be as good as they can be, just because they know the lineage they're trying to stay up with. They don't want to be that bad Calvary team. Nobody wants to be the bad Calvary team. And so, it just gives us a lot to play for every time we go out.
And looking at the program itself, it's 3 state titles, right, Coach? 3
Yes,
state
sir.
titles. and you're a program that started to like really stand out more than anything else besides the West Monroes, the Rustons and the Washita's and stuff like that. That you're right there in the thick of things in North Louisiana, and it's amazing that all these other programs, especially yourselves, Washita Christian, really coming out there and expanding, showing how good North Louisiana is.
Well, I think it's big, and I tell my buddies that I think it's huge that we play these teams like Westgate and some of them that aren't from our area, because I think sometimes we get you can be good in your area and not really good. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think until we get out and we play a Westgate or a Parkview Baptist or people like that, I think it really shows us where we're at more so than just the teams that are in our district or just the teams that are in our area, because you can say what you want. The football in South Louisiana is very, very good. And, so the more we can play, we're playing Westgate again the next 2 years. I mean, we signed up for 2 more years of that. And I think it just gives us an idea if we can compete statewide versus just in our little area that we live in.
Absolutely. Looking at this game coming up against St. Charles, and this is something different for the Comets more than anything else. For the second year in a row, meeting a different team. And Dunham gave them a big time challenge last year, and in some way somehow got it done. What kind of a I know you want to try to defensively just try to stop some things offensively, but at the same time, what the mentality your kids has this week going into this one, knowing that this is a big time challenge and 2 great programs going for a championship.
Like I said, they understand that. We're fortunate that we've got some good players. I'm gonna tell you, we got 4 receivers with 50 or more catches, just about, in that range, and a great running back, a very good quarterback. Like I said, we got some good players too, so, but again, they understand that. They know we're going to have to play our best game to have a chance to win. But the challenge is what they like, and they love playing those games, win or lose. So I can promise you that that we might not win. We could play well and not win because they're good. Just like some other good teams are going to lose in the Superdome. That's just how it works. But I can promise you they're going to show up and they're going to get after it.
And in looking at your career and everything, you came from a Houghton program and really got that thing rolling, but also you had a life-changing moment that you had a health scare and all of a sudden you bounced back from it. What you could take from that experience from there to make you the person you are today?
Well, we it really made us put our priorities in life right. And football's very important to my family. I'm going to tell my daughters, my wife, that's our life. That's what we've always done. But, after that, I mean, honestly, we're probably lucky we are fortunate we're alive, but it kind of made us put things back in perspective that we want to win. We want to win every day we go out there, but football is never going to take the place of my family or my religion or my God or whatever. Football's in there, but it's not the most important thing to us. And, we've learned that we can be a good family man, a good Christian man, and we can also be a good football coach. And, so kind of just make our priorities stay in line and understand that, hey, I'm going to promise you every day my feet hit the floor, it's a blessing to be alive, and we enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Last question, I'm going to pass over to George Peppers. There's been a phrase last season, 3 River Parish teams coming in, representing them last season. This year, they said River Parish versus Arrowberry Part 2. But this year, you have 4 teams out of the North Louisiana area that's coming down to compete for state championships. Could you say North Louisiana versus everybody here? You know what I'm saying, Coach?
Football, we've had some good teams up here this year, but they're all, they're up against good teams when we come down there. So, I hope all the North Louisiana teams win. We were in the district with Haynes for a while, and David does a fantastic job, and Coach Spat, we jamboree with them every year, and they're in our district next year. So we've battled them for 7 years straight. uh, and he's a fun guy to deal with too. And Ruston's. I'm telling you what, they're good. And so those four teams, I'm sure they're as excited as we are to be there, and we want to represent. We don't want North Louisiana to get shut out in this deal.
George Peppers.
Coach Guin, first of all, thank you for making the time out of a very busy schedule to joining us here on the show. We greatly appreciate it. And VK stole my question. That was going to be my lead question. But by the way, it's 5 teams. Union Parish is there too. Y'all didn't mention them. They're in it against St. James. But my first question, you talked earlier about the schedule that you played. How do you feel it sets up for your team this week? I mean, battling all those big time opponents, Parkview, Westgate, and of the like, and then you beat Newman last week to get here. How do you feel like that sets you up for this week? And then how do you feel like it sets you up this week?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you good.
I think it just makes us battle tested. And, and I tell our kids all the time, when we walk off the field against a Westgate or a Wassman or a Captain Shreve or somebody like that, these big 5A schools that, really outman us physically sometimes, when we walk off the field and have competed, I tell them, we're not going to play anybody better than that physically, and so whoever we play, and don't get me wrong, St. Charles is the best defense we've seen probably in 3 or 4 years. I'm going to say that. But, there's no intimidation factor for our kids, because they played teams that are very, very good. And that's the reason we do that.
I was just going to ask you about St. Charles and their defense. I mean, we've seen them down here in South Louisiana. This is a very wicked defense. But I feel like when I look at this matchup and I look at your offense, run 4 receivers, it's going to take 4 corners to stop them. And, I think this is St. Charles's toughest matchup per se, going against an offense like your team has. You can beat them you can beat a lot of teams in a lot of ways. The versatility with your running game and your receiving core, and you got a really good quarterback there at Calvary. Give me a key component of this football game it looks like strength versus strength. Tell me one key component that's going to take for you guys to pull this thing out.
Well, we got to protect, and because we need to throw the football. If we can't throw the football, the running back is, it's tough on him. So, we have to throw the football enough where they can't put a bunch of guys in the box. And to be able to do that, we got to protect on those guys they send from the edge and everywhere else, which is what they're good at. So, I think protection, especially our backfield guys blocking those guys coming on the edge, is huge. Because we got 4 good receivers, and it's tough on most teams because most teams don't have 4 good DBs out there, and so hopefully we can find some matchups that we can protect and be able to get some big plays.
And talk about the enthusiasm level at Calvary Baptist this week in advance of the game in New Orleans. Like you said, the last time you went to a final was 20. I think the one in Natchitoches. How the ticket sales have been this week for Calvary Baptist getting down to New Orleans?
Well, everybody's excited. They close school down Friday, so nobody's going to be at school Friday. And, our crowds have been fantastic. We were fortunate, too, that we've been at home 3 weeks in a row in the playoffs. So you can build a lot of momentum fan-wise when you do that. As far as playing at home, all those playoff games. And we expect a huge crowd. Our people love good football. They know good football. And they know what we're up against too. That's the one thing I love about Calvary. They know the teams that are good. And I tell people all the time, hey, they would rather us play St. Charles 10 times than some team we're going to beat 50 points. They want us to get a bloody nose. And I appreciate that. From a coaching standpoint, because it actually makes it easy for us to go play whoever, and we don't really worry about what happens because that's what our people like to see.
You talked about playing 3 consecutive playoff games at home. How do you like the format as it is now? Used to be where the lower seed would muck a game up and win, catch a home game. How do you like the fact that the higher seeds get the just rewards in a playoff setting and be at home? I think it's an obvious answer. But as a coach, much would prefer to be at home and not having to warm up the bus.
Yeah, like I said, it's the prep work we've had to do for this trip. Yeah, I'm glad to be at home every week. But I think it's good. I love the playoff format like it is now with less divisions playing. I think I mean, we played Parkview. I mean, they were a 3A school, but it made our division better. U-High made our division better. It just, it makes it harder to win, but the football's better. And I love it like it is. I think the high seeds they deserve the home games. Now, are there some teams that skew the system sometimes with scheduling and there aren't really a high seed? Yeah, but for the most part, that's not the case. And so, yeah, I think the 1 and 2 seed, they deserve that. They played all year to get that. And so, yeah, I love it like it is now.
Y'all play Saturday, right, at 3:30, if I'm not mistaken. They're the middle game on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay, all right. And you guys are heading to New Orleans Friday or tomorrow? Y'all said y'all were closing school Friday.
We're going to practice tomorrow. It's just a regular school day for us tomorrow. So, we're going to leave Friday and work out at LSU a little bit on the way and, probably get into New Orleans about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that, Friday and at the hotel, hopefully.
Last question before I turn it back over to JB. January state meetings coming up. I know we don't want to, the format as it is, I have no problem with it, but there are some that are calling to end the split completely. Where do you lie in? Where's your position on this? Would you rather keep this format as it is? Because it feels like there's more competitive matchups, or would you rather go back together and go 5-class?
I like it like it. I've been on both sides of this deal. I was a public school guy for 30 years. But I've also seen since I've been at Calvary, some of the 1A schools when we were in 1A, I mean, we have an obvious advantage over them. You can call it what you want. I mean, our kids are coming from 300,000 people in Shreveport, and Coach Casey at Homer's drawing from 4,000 people in Homer. And the lower classes, I think the split's good. In the big classes, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think those schools can probably compete, with each other. But 1, 2, and 2A for sure. I just think there's the city schools like us that have the large metropolitan areas to draw from. I mean, that's common sense. I mean, there's going to be more people to pick from, and so I would be in favor of the small classes. I think it's the fairest way to do it, and so that's just me. Like I said, I've been on both sides of it.
Coach Guin, I'll get you out of here with this last question. We've heard a lot about your quarterback, Abram Waddle. We also heard about your running back, James Simon. Tell us how good of leaders they are to this football team of yours.
Yeah, the quarterback is special. He's super intelligent. He knows our offense so well. I mean, his completion rate's like 80%. He's got 1 pick and 43 touchdowns, out of 300 and something passes. So he's a great decision maker. And like I said, this is a challenge for him too, because we haven't seen a lot of stuff that they do. So, he's having to work really hard this week on film and things like that. But, I'm telling you what, he has had a just tremendous year for us. And, and I expect him to do the same down there. And, Simon's just a workhorse. We don't use him a bunch during the year because we're way ahead in most of our district games. But I'm telling you, the last 2 weeks, he has showed who James Simon is. And I think he's got probably close to 500 yards in the last 2 weeks. So, both those guys are very good for us. And, we need them to have big games on Saturday.
Coach Guin, thank you for joining us. Good luck this upcoming Saturday against the St. Charles Catholic Comets. We appreciate you taking time out your schedule to join us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Enjoyed
Sure,
it.
thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Rodney Guin of the Calvary Baptist Cavaliers. Guys, I think before the season started, we kind of said Calvary Baptist and St. Charles Catholic were on a collision course. And now here we are. And we're going to pick the winner, who we think is going to win later on. But VK, quickly, your thoughts about this upcoming matchup this Saturday at 3:30, I believe. 3:30, yes.
30.
Yes. I gotta say, looking at all the matchups over the weekend and some good ones, this is number one on my list this weekend. This is definitely number one. And these two are some very good programs, very good, you know, state powers that both have about what three state titles, and now one of us going for four. So it's gonna be amazing to see what happens. This is the second, like I said, second year in a row for St. Charles to go up against somebody different. And we seen all the time how battle tested they are. But Calvary will probably give them a very big time test. We seen University gave St. Charles everything that they had. Calvary is going to probably do it in another level. So it's going to be an unbelievable game on Saturday between these two clubs. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen Saturday. Coach Goin, it's going to be an interesting chess match between Coach Goin and Coach Wayne Stein.
GP, your thoughts, right quick.
I think when you talk about somebody different, BK, look, let's flash back to week 3, St. Charles. They played a team similar to who they're going to see Saturday, and that was Turlings. Turlings runs a wide open offense, good quarterback, fast paced tempo offense, and St. Charles, after a half of toe to toeing around, they got rid of him in the second half. I'm not saying they'll do that here, but Turlings is a 4A school that gave Lafayette Christian a heck of a battle last week. So in styles, I think they've seen this kind of team already. Just I think they're going to see it on a smaller scale, St. Charles, because Calvary is a 1A school. Um, with that said, this as far as games of the weekend, I mean, could I be biased and pick the game me and Jared are going to be on the mic for as the number one game? That can be Appaloosa Cecilia. I mean, but I'm not going to do that. We'll talk about that later as we break the games down. I cannot wait to see this matchup, and um, it's going to be a fascinating chess match, like you said, between Coach Stein and Coach Guin. But to me, the biggest key, which team's tempo and pace wins out, and whichever one does, that's your champion.
All right. You heard Coach mention about the linebacker for St. Charles Catholic, number 22. That is Kyle Cannon. So Kyle
Yes, sir.
Cannon sticks out like a sore thumb to the coaching staff at Calvary Baptist. So it says a lot about Kyle Cannon and how good of a linebacker he is, the Southeastern Louisiana commit. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and we're going to pick who we think will win the state championship games that are starting tomorrow, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
You're watching the Hash It Out Show!
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. Let's get right to it. Let's get to these picks. Everybody's waiting. They want to know who we're going to pick for to win state. Let's get it. Division 4 non-select. My man VK cannot call this game because VK will be actually calling the game. Well, you can't pick this game because he's calling the game on CrescentCitySports.com. So, VK, go ahead and sit this out. Me and George will take care of this one. George, Oak Grove coming back as the defending champions. Does Oak Grove win another state championship over Haynesville?
Fascinating matchup, and I can hear VK now. It's a conspiracy for him not to catch up for not allowing him to pick these games. All right. But look, let's be honest. VK, I envy you because this is going to be a very good football game between these two titans of the lower class. Oof. Oak Grove handled business last week after a scare in the quarters. Haynesville did the same to Logansport. That was surprisingly easy. Um, I've looked at this game and broken it down as best as I could. I think this is Oak Grove's time. It's going to be close. They beat them already, and it's going to be tough to beat the same team two times. Oak Grove gets it done, but it's going to be very close.
You know where I'm going with this. I
Come on.
think Haynesville gets their revenge from early in the season and knocks off the defending state champs. I got the Tornadoes of Haynesville getting this win. Haynesville.
That was weak.
Yeah, split on that one, and
But
my. I'm sorry.
no, no, no. I was going to say, VK, I actually wanted to come to you. I know you can't pick the game, but give us a key to this game from your perspective. I mean, you've done your homework in advance in this game, but give us a key based on what you know and see.
I think this is going to be an unbelievable matchup in itself as well. A rematch that went one way, and one of my picks that keyed me a big week that week right there. So thank you, Grove. So, but at the same time, the run game is going to be key big time for Haynesville to keep Oak Grove off the field because Oak Grove mixed the running pass very, very, very well. But I think this is going to be a chess match all the way to the fourth quarter. This is not going to be easy for Oak Grove to get it done in this rematch, especially in the dome. So it's going to be interesting to see. Oak Grove can just be themselves, but Haynesville is going to have to try to keep Oak Grove off the field with their running game.
All right. We move to Division 4 Select. Riverside Academy taking on Southern Lab. And VK Jones, once again, cannot pick this game because he will be calling this game for CrescentCitySports.com. VK, you can go ahead and sit this one out. Me and George will take over from here. Hey, I think we're going to have a great ball game on our hand. I think it's going to be close. This is the first game at 3:30 on Saturday, I believe, if I'm correct.
Nope,
No,
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Tomorrow. But I think Coach Lee Roussel, Dedrick Lasty, and Riverside Academy, I think they will get the job done and bring this title back to their school. I have Riverside winning this game. Who you got, GP?
I look. This is another game that the difficulty to picking this game because I saw Southern. Me and VK were privileged to watch that epic comeback last week with Southern Lab and how they were able to chase down Washington Christian. Um, I've never seen a Stephen Fitzhugh team cough up a two-score lead that late in any game, let alone a semifinal. With that said, I think a big key, and I talked to my brother, BVK. We and VK, we talked to Emmanuel Friday night, and one of the biggest keys he brought up, and it's something that we saw 2 weeks ago, the offensive line of Riverside. Washington Christian had a lot of success early, sealing blocks off, but they got away schematically in the second half. They got away from what was working. They started tinkering around, doing different things, and I think that led to them getting beat. Riverside's offensive line is very strong. Rick Lasty and Lasty on that Superdome carpet is lethal. That's going to be crazy to see. Southern Lab cannot afford to fall behind against that Riverside team. I believe the Rebels are fast, and I believe the Rebels, as you mentioned, JB, I'm with you. I take Riverside, but VK, since you're on the color for this game, give us a key to this football game, which is the leadoff game of the eight, but it promises to be a really good one.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, indeed. That should be a really good one to kick the whole weekend off. And I can say this: the Hash It Out show was proud in looking at the dome lineup. 4 state championship teams we called this year. Amazing that we have called 4 of them this year on this network. Um, Southern Lab, very, very athletic. They have a lot of size. This is probably maybe the biggest team that Riverside's going to face all year in
Yep.
size. So they're going to have to be ready to roll with it. If they set the tone early, Riverside, the run game is going to have to do well in this game. But Lee Roussel said it himself in the presser the other day. I think we're going to have to do both. mix it up because Southern Lab does do a good job making adjustments with their coverage and being in the box and stunts and stuff like that. And me and George seen that a couple times. They sending Chad Jones and other people right in the gaps and knocking people down and everything else. So Lasty's gonna have to buckle that chicken strap, be ready to go because Southern Lab they're coming with some heat. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But the run game and the mixing of it's gonna be. But the run game is most importantly key for Riverside. Keep Southern Lab off that field offensively because Southern Lab very dangerous because they can score at any time, especially with Amarion Asbury at running back and quarterback Marlon Brown that can make a lot of big plays.
All right, moving on to Division Three non-select. Union Parish back in the dome for a fourth consecutive year, taking on St. James. Another great matchup in itself. We all could pick this game, but I think Braden Williams will be a little bit too much for Union Parish. I think St. James will bring home the state championship. VK.
I tell you one thing, Union Parish has proved me wrong all mostly all year. They have proved me wrong a lot,
There
and I
ain't nothing
give
new,
them a lot
Jerry.
of credit getting in the dome. Yeah, Jerry, you could giggle if you want to. Yeah, I'm see the thing difference between me and anybody else in sports. I'm a man about mine, and I'm gonna admit that I'm wrong. So I'm a man about it. Union Parish, big time credit, and they got a good running back as well. That's the
Yeah,
replacement to
Trey Holly.
Trey Holly, and his name is what's his name, Jared? All right, he's got
I
an
can't
interesting
remember. I can't remember.
he's got an interesting name, but he has the same number as Trey Holly. He's wearing the same number, and I tell you, he's really really good. And you know, Union Parish is gonna bring the heat. But I believe this St. James team, and I said it myself in the beginning of the season. My pick to probably win the whole thing in that division because of the experience that came back and they ain't come back for nothing. It's gonna be close, but I think they're gonna pull away. St. James is gonna get it done. Lavanta Davis learning his lessons, and when you look at that list earlier, the coaches that brought two teams to the state championship game had Lavanta Davis on the list. He was the head coach of Scotlandville when they went to the Dome. So this is his second go around.
How how dare they forget Coach Davis?
That's right.
Got to send them a message. Go ahead,
That's
GP.
right.
Go ahead, GP.
St. James.
So both of you guys have St. James, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What did Union Parish in last year? Let's see if y'all remember. Many speed on the perimeter and in the backfield.
Say that
They had
again.
a time stopping them.
Oh,
St.
Manny.
James
Oh,
has
Manny
got some
Speed.
fast.
Oh,
What?
okay. I get it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Manny's
And
defense
size.
really did work
And Manny's
with
very
Tackett
small.
Curtis. But of games that we have this weekend, this one might be the closest thing. I don't want to say to a snoozer, but this is one where I think one team is clearly better than the other. And look, I'll give Union Parish all the best in all the credit in the world for getting here. I know I had a soft spot. VK knows, you know, I wanted to see Gina get here because I think that would have been a better matchup for St. James. But that being said, Levante Davis, let's get ready to add a trophy to the trophy case at St. James High and Battery. Y'all gonna win this state title. St. James is my pick.
Okay. We're gonna go to Division Three.
And I'm gonna say this
Select.
one more. I'm gonna say this one more thing about Braden Williams. Seeing him a couple years ago taking over
Man,
the
we going to
quarterback.
Division Three. Select. You late. I already said we're going to. No, go
No,
ahead. I messed with you. Go ahead.
yeah. Braden Williams, and I seen him a couple years ago when I was working at St. James. I just knew that he had some kind of potential in him when he was a sophomore. And he kept working and working and working, especially into last season. And to me, maybe the closest thing to Shamar Smith when St. James won that title in 2019. And seeing how much
Yep.
of a leader he is and making plays and everything, it just convinced me. I'm like, this could be St. James's time because we know what type of team they are, but you got a good leader in him and a good senior class. That's why Braden is really doing well, and he looked very humble on Tuesday in the press conference.
Now, before I was interrupted,
I'm
Division
sorry.
3 select St. Charles Calvary Baptist. Here we are. They are finally meeting. And I've had trouble picking what team to win this game. It's just this is the hardest game for me to pick. Cause how can you go against Coach Stein? And I went against him the last 2 years and lost. He's won. Coach Stein makes fabulous adjustments in the second half. And to me, he's one of the best coaches when it comes to adjustments. Calvary Baptist just offensively explosive. Good defense. Landon Sylvie, one of the best safeties in the state. And you heard Coach say because of his size, he doesn't get the big time offers. Man, I'm just like, man. And then I look at the common opponent they had, and that was Newman. St. Charles shut out Newman 28-0. Calvary Baptist beat Newman by 8. But I'm going Calvary Baptist. I'm going with the Cavaliers. James Simon, Abram Waddle, and Landon Sylvie coming up, making big plays on defense. I got the Cavaliers winning the state championship. Calvary Baptist. And all the Calvary Baptist fans that are watching, how y'all doing? JB the Sports Guy. Make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube page. There you go. BK Jones, you go ahead and go next.
I'm gonna get it to you in a minute, but at the same
You gonna give it
time,
to me? Oh, Lord.
I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you in a second,
Oh,
baby.
okay. All right. All right.
I'm gonna get to you in a second. But I'm gonna start with this. Coach Guin has done a great job with this program. It's been a very good. Calvary's been very good all year. They've been very well proven, well-oiled machine, and everything else. It is going to be a very, very close game. Great weapons, great matchup. I just love it. You know what I'm saying? It's been amazing that we said that this could be the matchup. And what we were dead right. And this is a hard one for everybody. But for me, it's kind of hard, not too hard. We know how good Calvary is. I know how good Calvary is. But I'm gonna go with the team that I know that has the experience, that's too battle tested, that has been through the wars and then some. And when we talk about a team and these seniors of St. Charles could cap the greatest run ever for a senior class in the school's history.
They already did that.
No, this caps it. They already did it, but this is
Yeah,
caps
they
it.
already did it.
I know they already did it, but I'm saying this caps it. This caps it, Jared. Think about it. You're a senior. You go to
It
the
can cap it, but
dome
it's still
four
the
straight.
greatest run for them. It's still the greatest
The,
run.
the greatest run ever in the school's history in that senior class.
That's what I said.
4 years. 4 times in the dome. Potential 3-peat at the school. This team has been there, done that, and then some. I'm going with the Comets, and it's a shame. Not going. It's your opinion. It's your pick, my friend Jared. It's your pick, but you still ain't learned your lesson yet. We gonna see, my brother. We gonna see. You came in on Tuesday with your ring. You ain't gonna be wearing that ring.
I learned my
St.
lesson.
Charles get that 3-peat. St.
Learned my
Charles
lesson.
Catholic wins in a
When
close
you gonna learn
game.
yours? You ain't win a playoff. You ain't winning this playoff pick'em. You
It
ain't win the
don't
regular
it
season
don't it
pick'em.
don't matter. I
When you
get
gonna
that.
win stuff?
It
Oh,
don't
I've learned my
matter.
lesson.
I got
I'm a winner.
I got
George the
some
winner too.
I got some big wins on the playoff, baby. So I got some long wolves.
Oh,
I got done last week.
George winning this. It's over with.
I got some long
I got some
wolves.
big wins.
I
Moral
did.
victory. Moral
No,
Victory,
not just
VK is your
moral
new
victory.
name.
I
Moral
got.
Victory. That's your new name.
Let me tell you something. I got 2 lone wolf victories last week. Huge. So you can't say nothing about that.
Yes, I can. Are you
Uh,
winning the pick 'em? Are you winning the playoff pick 'em?
it don't matter. It don't matter.
Oh,
Two
now
out
it
of
don't
11.
matter.
It
Moral
don't
Victory,
matter.
VK.
It
Go
don't
ahead,
Oh
matter.
George.
wow.
Go ahead,
I,
George.
I was a lone wolf
He
with
he's
Saint
straight
fans.
hating,
I
Jared.
was a lone
He
wolf
is
with
straight
Saint
hating.
fans, and I was a lone wolf with St. Thomas More, and I got it done. 2-0 with that. That's
Lord,
all.
he is about a lone wolf. He
Okay,
ain't winning his pick
okay.
'em. My Lord. Go ahead,
I'll
George.
see you St. Thomas more and give you a Acadiana because I was the lone wolf there.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. With that said, this is the dream final that we have anticipated all year long.
Yes.
And I have said this at nauseum since week one. This is the best finishing team in the state. But let's flash back to last season. They were down 2 scores to a Dunham team that was very offensively proficient.
Yeah.
And what happened? The Comets came up big, made some huge stops, got a couple of breaks, and they were able to chase them down and win last year. Calvary Baptist, similar style. Like I said, the Turlings, they like to play the open game. I think Dixon is going to be a big key. But one thing Coach Guin said in the interview, he mentioned that his offensive line is going to have to protect. This is where St. Charles's strength may be Calvary's potential weakness. If that rush gets at it early, it could be a problematic spot. But St. Charles feels so unflappable. Any situation you put in front of them, these kids respond. They could play a team that can go Madden-esque numbers and they'll score with them. They can ugly it up and play a defensive game like they did last week against University and find a way to win. And they did. I think this is an unflappable football team. Are they unbeatable? No. They can get beat. Calvary is absolutely a legit entity. This is the final we have anticipated since week one, and here we are. But I am going to side with VK Jones and go with the St. Charles Comets and Wayne Stein getting the three-peat and cementing a legacy and cementing a dynasty for St. Charles.
I think out of all the matchups, this is the only one where we have two undefeated teams.
Mm.
Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. Saturday, 3:30. Oh, it's gonna be great. We're moving on. Moving on. Moral victories don't count here. Division two
What a
Division two non-select. Me and George will take a backseat to this one because we will be calling this game on CrescentCitySports.com. We're gonna let VK pick it.
Thank you guys. Thank you. And by the way, nobody wins this week because there's so many other picks that we're not even picking. So it's okay. We're okay with this championship. We hope we have a not bad record. But it is what it is. This one is going to be another good one, another classic game, another rematch. I mean, the
Yep.
second, I think is what 2 or maybe 3 rematches this weekend in the dome. This is awesome. I mean, Jimmy Zachary has done an unbelievable job with this Opelousas team. My pick to get to the semifinals, but they went beyond and went up to North Dakota and got it done. Wow. They're in the dome. They go against Cecilia and a very good team with Diesel Solari and company. Man, this is going to be unbelievable in this rematch. You know, it was close early, and then all of a sudden, Cecilia just took off in the second half and got it done. This time, this will go down to the wire. And man, I love what Jimmy Zachary has done, but I got to go with Dennis Skanes, Clint Harrison, and the Cecilia Bulldogs to break a little bit of a. It's been a long time since they got a state championship, and it
Mhm.
comes back to Cecilia. I think the Dogs will get it done. This is going to be an amazing ball game coming up.
JB, I think it's only fair we give keys to the game since like VK calling, I think for me, one of the biggest keys is going to come early. If I remember right, Cecilia, Opelousas beat them in the regular season, correct?
No,
Or
Cecilia.
Cecilia came back on them.
Yes.
They did. I don't know if the Bulldogs going to start that slow. I think the biggest key for me is what's schematically, what does Opelousas do to try to slow down Solari and Broussard? Broussard's ridiculously good back that they have. Um, for me, Jared, I feel like if Opelousas can neutralize, they're not going to stop them. I don't think you could completely shut those two down. But if they are able to slow them down, Opelousas has a real opportunity in this spot. But Sicilian's offense is so potent and so good. This is going to be a fascinating final, and we're just glad to be a part of it.
I'm going to say this: Opelousas was up 20-0. That's what I remember, and then the turnovers started to happen, and that's how Cecilia was able to get back in this game and win it. So number one, Opelousas has to limit turnovers. Cecilia had a hard time stopping Deshaun Ford. Run the ball with Deshaun Ford again. Cecilia can't start off slow. Got to start off fast. Got to get Diesel and Broussard rolling immediately. So those are the keys to the game, and I'll leave it at that. Um, Moving on to Division Two Select. It's a rematch for the fourth time in 2 years. St. Thomas More has owned Lafayette Christian. They've owned them. Up 3-0. That's 2 district matchups and 1 state matchup. And here we are, game number 4. Jawan Johnson, after the loss this year, he says there's one team he wanted to play again, and that's St. Thomas More. He is getting his wish. He's getting his wish. He says he cannot end his career with another loss to St. Thomas More. He said it cannot happen. He has to get a victory. Kind of reminds you of Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya lost to Alex Pereira 3 times in a row and finally got that victory over him. St. Thomas More, they're saying we're the big dogs in Division 2 Select. We're the big dogs. Ain't nobody beating us. Ain't no way. But when you look at the last 2 ball games, Lafayette Christian lost those games in the last minute. Both of them, the state championship and the district matchup this year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for another treat between these 2 teams. But I'm telling you right now, Jawan Johnson, last year he had over 600 yards. There's no way a team should lose when a player gets over 600 total yards. Jawan Johnson will not let St. Thomas More get this championship. Lafayette Christian Academy will win Division II Select. It's happening. They are getting the win. Book it. PK.
Love it, man. I love it. Yes. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. The reason why I've been, I'm not a big supporter, but at the same time, I just been accurate with St. Thomas More because of the fact of the matter is, you have to respect a champion. You have to respect them in the highest manner, regardless if you don't like them. When you see what they do, it's what they do. Like last week, I said it myself. I said Shaw better come with their minds right. They do have a chance, but I said it myself. Don't let them hang. But it was more than that last week because St. Thomas More sent a serious message, and great season for Shaw. Great season for your brother Jerry. Big time for Hank Tierney. But St. Thomas More sent a serious message like all the disrespect. Oh no, we're the 2-time champs, and we're showing you why. It's
That.
no, I'm talking about the disrespect, not to you, but to everybody in the state. Because everybody keep talking about Lafayette Christian and not them. That's what certain
I don't know
champs.
about that, but go ahead.
I'm saying that was what I'm seeing. Because I seen this before with certain champions when sometimes they talk about the player or the team instead of them, and it's like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to prove last year wasn't a fluke. We're gonna have to prove last year wasn't a fluke, and that's what they've been doing. So, with that being said, we look at a lot of matchups in the past where players and teams kind of felt like if we get these people the second time, we're not going to miss. I remember the 1993 Salmon team, a young team led by Mike Sutton. Gave it all they got against John Curtis, came up short. The next season, here comes Dwayne Woods. Dwayne Woods goes off over 2,000 yards. Then all of a sudden, Curtis Salmon meets in the dome. Close game, but Salmon gets payback and wins their first state championship. You look at Speedy Noel and Ed Carr. They gave everything they had against Neville, but came up short. The next season, he felt a hunger in his heart to go get this title, not just for him, but for Coach. Um,
Salute.
yes, Jabbar Jalou. He wanted to get there for Jabbar Jalou, get that title, and they did it. Alden Clark, the probably
What are
one of
you
the
talking about in the call? We about St. Thomas More Lafayette Christian.
no, but we talk about the premises of a game, a payback game that a player didn't have a good game in. You get the
Okay,
premises?
okay.
Ed Nicole, Alden
Hey,
Clark against Neville. Could have had maybe 500 yards. And some people thought it was crazy, but they looked at the film and they said, VK, you were right. You count 11 drops in the second half. And guess what happens? And the car comes on short. The next year, Alden Clark goes nuts and wild the whole year. And when it came down to Neville, he said, no way in hell I am going to let this die. I am going to get this. This is what Juwan Johnson wants. He wants to end that career beating the nemesis. And I think it happens. Lafayette Christian gets redemption, finally winning a state title and ending their slump.
hey,
Now, you
George,
feel better? Feel better, baby?
I'm here.
your turn, finally.
I know it took a minute. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
that's in-depth analysis, to be said. But listen, that's what we do. When you look at this matchup, I mean, not stating the obvious, but come on, man. A lot of people are going to hype up the quarterback battle, but I submit to you the running backs and on both sides with Swilly for St. Thomas More, and I forget your boy for LC. They could feature
Noel.
in this game. I will say this: defense optional. Scoreboard. This is going to be easily the longest game of the 8 that we played this
Yeah.
weekend in the Caesar Superdome. We could be looking at a 3 hour, 3.5 hour kind of game. You know, um, who wins it? I've been a fan of Jawan Johnson since day one. I don't hate St. Thomas more. I'm not one of those that's going to spew that stupidness. But I'm sitting here to tell you the first team to 50 wins this game. And that first team and Jawan Johnson and Lafayette Christian 3 straight state titles in a row. Lost to St. Charles, lost to St. Thomas More, and they lost in the COVID year. I forget who beat them in the COVID season. Not this time. Lafayette Christian, the Knights, will shine bright this week in the Superdome and win the state title in what it will be a classic.
Now, Division One non-select. Ruston, Zachary. They're going to close it out Saturday night. Ruston looking to right the wrong of what happened last year by losing to Destrehan. They are back again. Zachary did make it last year, lost in the semis, but they won it the year before in 2021, looking to bring home a 5th championship. I've been sitting there saying, man, Rustin just looks good. Brantley at quarterback, big 6'5", 6'6" quarterback, can throw that rock. Man, Rustin just looks good. But then I had to sit there and think, wait a minute. Coach Brewerton has never lost in the dome as the head coach of Zachary. He's 4-0. It's hard to bet against Zachary in the dome, but I won't be the one. Zachary Broncos gets their 5th championship. I got Zachary. VK. He got Rustin. George.
No, see, you just trying to shut me up right now. Huh? It's just like, that long diatribe you did. Get that. We're gonna go with the pick. Skip for Sean. Skip him.
Go ahead, bro. What you got?
I'm gonna let George go first. So
Oh
let him go
wow!
first.
Oh,
Well, go
All
first,
right.
George.
Well, all right. With that being said, I'm always one to defy conventional wisdom. Heck, look at the upsets I've pulled in these playoffs this year. I'm going to do it again, and this is not an upset. I know David Brewerton and Zachary are unbeatable and undefeated in the Superdome, but you mentioned a key component in this game, Brantley, the quarterback for Ruston, more polished than he was last year. I think more seasoning, more experience. Rustin, and the WWE reference. Cody Rhodes lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania this year. A lot of people think he's going to take the title next year, so he's going to finish the story. That's Rustin, and they are going to finish the story. But I caution you on one thing for Zachary. How much do they have in the tank after having to exert energy, having to come back and play the next day to finish off a 28-13 deficit and come back and basically was gifted the win because Dutchtown missed a chip shot field goal late to win that thing. Um, I think this is where David Brewerton and Zachary take their first loss in a championship. Rustin
I get lost.
gets it done,
Oh,
VK.
championship wise. I got you. Go ahead, VK.
Championship wise,
Yeah,
Rustin gets it done.
yeah. This one is gonna be interested in itself. What I'm saying, David Broughton, and I mean, great respect to that program. Great respect to Zachary. Very, very good back in the dome. They were very, very fortunate that, and safety is first, but that game had to be stopped and you had to think Dutchtown was up by more than two scores.
28-13.
They was up
28-13 with 152 to go in the third quarter.
exactly. And for Zachary to get a reprieve and refocus, and then all of a sudden they come back to win. It's just like with Catholic last week against Rummel. That reprieve because the football guys decided like, nah, don't let it be great. Because we gotta let Mother Nature do its thing. But Zachary got it done, getting it back in the dome. But this Ruston team, I'll tell you one thing. They have been right there. They have been consistent all year, despite that one loss. Yes, I'm still going to say that one loss. But at the same time, for that team, with the experience they got back this year, I've been for a long time, been on this wagon for years and years because the fact of the matter is, I notice trends and I notice things. And I was like, wait a minute, bro. They coming, bro. Look at the wins. They coming. And all of a sudden, they got there last year. Now they're back. And this time, Rustin fans, I'm here with you this year. Rustin wins the state championship. I'm with you this year, man. I'm with you this year. The Rustin Bearcats win state.
Rustin Bearcats, don't let them back on your bandwagon.
Be quiet. Now
He,
you all up. Now
he
you
was
all
all.
up on
Oh
Rustin.
no! Be quiet, because you was all rusting last year to that state championship.
I
I
will.
gotta go with my man. I gotta go with my man, Coach Walter Scott.
Bro. Family. Blood is thicker than water. Remember that at the end of the day, right?
I'm thinking of water.
Right?
We
True.
didn't know nothing
Right?
about that during the whole season last year. We didn't know nothing about that. Rusting this, rusting that, rusting.
Dexter,
Oh, they top tier this, top tier that.
if Destrehan didn't make it to the final, that was my pick to win it all. When Destrehan got there, that changed everything. That's
Hey,
all I gotta tell you.
look, Rustin Finn people, he's saying that's family, that's blood. It's through marriage, though.
That's still family, man. Stop that. You wouldn't say that if your brother see when your brother
Hey,
man you can't say that. That's your sister, right? Your sister-in-law, but you still call your sister, right?
that's my sister-in-law.
Oh Lord Jesus, you know what I mean. I need to
Moving
stop that.
on.
Moving
Moving
on.
on. Moving on to Division One select, ladies and gentlemen. Acadiana, Catholic of Baton Rouge. It's about to go down. And I'm just gonna say who I'm picking. I'm not getting to all the details because they all got these state championships. It's prestige, it's tradition with the two. It's about to go down. But the Wrecking Rams bringing the title back to Lafayette. It's happening. Acadiana is going to win the state championship. Book it. Go ahead, VK.
Mm. This is gonna be a chess match. This is gonna be a chess match here, man. I should go here, but at the same time, it seemed like one of these two teams is just go prove me one way or go prove me the other way. That's just now. Last week I did pick the one team and it did come through after all these weeks. So I don't know where to go because this is tough because you got a good passing game and running game, and you got a good running game, two good defenses. This could be, I ain't gonna lie, this could be a field goal game. This could be a
Right?
low scoring field goal freaking game. This how I'm looking at this because we have seen some state championships in the past that has been low scoring and defensive. Expect this to be a defensive game. But I'm going to go. Somebody's got to warn about Katie Ann about field goal.
All right.
That's a tough one.
George Peppers.
Ever since they lost to Curtis and got embarrassed, Acadiana, 28-0 in week 7, that could have finished them. But you know what? Credit that Matt McCulloch and that coaching staff for getting those kids recharged and refocused, and have come up with some titanic efforts. 2 wins over Karen Crow, of course, the win out at the car last week to get here. I don't see the field goal game that you guys see. I think Acadiana's got the decided advantage
He said
in
that.
the trenches. I think the trenches are going to be the biggest difference here. I think Acadiana's going to will their way. They pushed that in the car around a little bit, got a couple of separations, and made, if they can make Catholic chase. I really like Acadiana because they don't give leads back. That's a team that if they get in front, that's a good front running team. Wrecking Rams by 14 to win this state title to close out the festivities on the weekend. Acadiana by 14.
There you
Mm.
have it with the pickums, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Now we're going to introduce a new segment. It's called VK's rant. He's going to
Oh
rant.
no.
He's going to rant for 5 minutes about Florida State situation not being allowed into the college football playoffs. 5 minutes. When that 5 minutes is up, VK,
They
you
got the
have to
time.
stop. You have. Oh, I got a timer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because your 5 minutes will turn into 20 minutes. So I got a timer. When 5 minutes
Might be
is
20.
up, yeah. 5 minutes is up, VK. That's it. We shut it down. VK's rant starts now.
Well, to the college football playoff, you did it. You did it. You did it again. Money game, baby. That's what you do. That's what you do. College football has failed for a long, long time. For years and years. And guess what? You did it again, but shutting down a Florida State team. They're not going to the national championship. Well, guess what? All I'm going to tell y'all is this. To all the small schools in America, You're not going back to the playoff when they go back to 12. Go to FCS, please. Because if they do this to a well-respected, multiple national championship team, shutting them out going to the playoff, what else is going to happen to you? Go to the FCS like Idaho is. Idaho right now is, guess what? They're in the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. Yeah, it ain't no BS, Reggie. Just, this is my time. I don't care about that. This is unacceptable as a Florida State fan. Unacceptable. The ACC had a winning record against the SEC. Alabama had to barely struggle against South Florida. Got beat at home against Texas. Had to take a third and goal at the 31-yard line? Fourth and goal on the 31-yard line on a lay-down football play. Yes, lay down. Because you look at the god doggone safety. If he in good position, you make the play, the game is over. Against a team that lost handily by New Mexico. And the New Year's Six, guess what? Look who's in it. Liberty, and you look at their damn schedule. Really. All I'm going to tell you is this. College football has failed. They're going to continue to fail. So all I'm going to say is this. Florida State, you have my permission to go lay waste on Georgia. Lay waste. Blow these people the smithereens and just tell the committee, give them the finger, and guess what? Michigan, you have my permission to lay waste on Bama. Lay waste because the blood is on the CFP's hands. You're going to look stupid because there was one national championship game we seen. There were many that was messed up. One of them, Miami, Nebraska. Why Nebraska has a business in the championship game? Because you wanted them there. Knowing they got shellacked by Colorado on the road, giving up 62 freaking points. And what happened in the title game? They got beat the freaking smithereens. It's going to happen again. Bad things about to happen again. So, hand the business on Michigan. Georgia, I'm sorry. It's not nothing personal. It's business. It's business because you didn't finish the job. So that's just what it is. But at the same time, college football went down a level tremendously, and y'all absolutely suck. The CFP absolutely sucks. None but and playing this up, and I'm gonna say this and let it go. How many minutes I got? Is it 2 minutes or one?
You got a minute 25.
Minute 25. All the college football playoff is done. Straight discrimination. Business discrimination at that. It's all about money. That's what it is. You wanted who you wanted because of your freaking networks and your money you coming in. Damn this business stuff. I came in this business and I love sports, but I don't like it to be about money all the goddamn time. But I'm one of the people that's going to stand up and go against the grain on some things because I ain't got to agree and I ain't got to abide to all the rules. So Florida State, David Johnson, No Nation, believe in yourself. Continue to believe in all you so-called Florida State fans who talk about, oh, we could lose these guys. Turn in your fan card. You got to believe all the way to the end. I'm done. I ain't watching no college football playoff either. No college football playoff for me. I'll watch that Orange Bowl. I'll watch the other bowls, but the college football playoff, you did to me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm completely shocked that this didn't go all 5 minutes. Very, very shocked. Oh, there it is. See? Wow. All right. Number 2, Kenneth. No, not guessing my picks. I'm going with it with certainty, baby. Certainty. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show for tonight. Hash It Out show. I got some food waiting for me. I am hungry. But before we go, state championship start tomorrow, 3:30, 7 o'clock. Make sure you tune in to CrescentCitySports.com. I think also your view will be showing it on TV. But VK Jones got the call tomorrow night, both games on CrescentCitySports.com. Before we go quickly, last word, VK.
Man, it's been a very good week. I appreciate you guys and your patience yesterday. I appreciate the prayers from everyone. I had a family emergency yesterday. Things are going really good now and everything. So I got things out the way, all the errands done. Cannot wait to be with y'all guys tomorrow. This is the big weekend. We've worked hard for it. The players, the coaches, the schools, and us media people. This is our payoff this week, baby. We'll be in the dome, man. The Hash It Out Show has made it. Yeah.
GP.
How do you follow that? But look, I'll say this: the car ride to the Superdome is going to be interesting. Well, actually, all weekend or whatever. But yeah, I'm with VK on the payoff part of it, with the fact that the three of us get to unite together and be in the dome in the same capacity. And VK, I have a good call on both games. I know you're on the color for the Riverside game first, and then you have the call of Haynesville Oak Grove tomorrow night. So have a good call on both those games. You already know how we feel. We gonna lead this thing off Friday, me and Jared and Emmanuel, and we gonna rock this thing this weekend. The Hash It Out Show gonna stand tall for this weekend. But the fact that we're in this dome for 3 days, it's gonna be our home away from home for a couple of days. So hey, it is what it is. It's been a long season, but it comes to an end this weekend. But once football's done, Hash It Out Show fans, stand by. We got some other things in the fire. Stand by and be patient.
Most definitely. Coming next week, we're gonna try to get some of these state championship coaches on our show. Get to talk to them. Other than that, VK Jones, George Peppers. Special thank you to Coach Rodney Guin for joining us. I'm JP, the sports guy. We in the dome. Come tomorrow, baby. When you see us, well, when you see me and George tomorrow with our Hash It Out Show shirts on, holla at us. VK gonna have his Crescent City Sports shirt on, But just holla at us when you see.
We're still a team, baby. Still a team.
Oh man,
you in Crescent City tomorrow.
Whatever. We still a team, baby.
Friday. I'm in Crescent City too.
Of course.
Yeah,
You ain't got no shirt.
I ain't got a shirt, but guess what? When I finish that broadcast, guess what shirt I'm gonna put on? I asked it, I'll still shirt. When it's all said and done.
You funny because you got all them shirts, whatever, dude. But we still a team.
Yeah. All right. But I'm going to eat. I'm hungry. We'll see y'all guys Tuesday and Wednesday. If you see us in the dome, holla at us. Y'all take care.
We want our money.
You're watching the Hash It Out Show!
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show.